We're live with Angela Clarke. Go on, say hello, Angela.
Hello, I'm the angel Angela.
So welcome, Angela Clarke. You're one of our Walx guides for Walx Preston. So I would like to, those who are newer with the group, I think it would be worthwhile knowing a little bit more about you. I think people get to, when they're new in the group, they get to see us and know that we are leading a walk, or we're kind of involved with the leadership team, but not everyone has a longer term awareness about you and your past and things like that. So I think it's sometimes nice to share that. So
yeah, you've done some good ones so far. So yeah.
So Angela, tell us a little bit about you.
About me, or about how I joined you?
Oh, well, both. We'll get to both of those points, I think.
Okay, so I'm Angela. I am a mental health nurse by background, which will link into some of the things that you'll no doubt ask me. And I joined Nordic Walking Preston about just over 4 years ago. And it was a period where, so in the past, I used to walk a lot and had a dog, I had a caravan, and I used to be away most weekends walking and with the dog. And then about 5 years ago, I had a separation, and I found that I had to give up my caravan, and I couldn't walk as much for a variety of reasons, couldn't leave the kids. So I started doing the helping out the park runs as that real social thing, get us up on a Saturday morning and, you know, do the park run, because my sister was really heavily involved in them. Mm-hmm. And I did a couch to 5K, and I ran a couple of park runs, but it really, really irritated my hip. I had a hip problem from a number of years back. And so I used to marshal quite a lot, just so I got that camaraderie. And then one day the run director said to me, well, there's somebody within the group, I think it would have been Dawn at the time, that does Nordic walking and does park runs, and you can actually Nordic walk the park runs. So I thought, great, I'll have a go at that. So I went home that night, 12th of November, and I thought I'll book onto a Learn To, with absolutely no thought that I would sort of carry on with a walking group per se. Thought I'll just do the Learn To, and then every Saturday morning I can get up and I can do the park run and I can walk it and enjoy that camaraderie. And then I did the Learn To, which was just wonderful, met some lovely people, and then you got a couple of walks with the Learn To. And I remember walking up on the first walk and meeting Kate, and Kate said, hello, my name's Kate. And I said, my daughter's Kate. And instantly from that moment, boom, I was part of the group. And then did a couple more walks with the group on a Saturday morning, and all the park runners would shout, hello, Nordic walkers. And we'd go, hello, park runners. And that was it. I was hooked, and I never went back to park running at all after that. I just stayed with the group and joined more and more and more things. And it was just an opportunity to get me out on a Saturday. Didn't leave the house for too long. My kids were teenagers, so you couldn't really leave them, but you could leave them. And yeah, just grew from there. And I've been part of it for over 4 years now. That's me.
Amazing. I like the way that you remember dates, like the 12th of November.
Well, I know it's just a very significant date for me, the 12th of November. It's a memory of something. And I remember being sat at home on my own, wondering where my life would take me in the next few years, and not really understanding where I was going. And so that's why I specifically remember it. And then I did my Learn To on the 19th. And I always celebrate my birthday. As you know, I like my birthdays, and I celebrate my birthday.
I want to mention it, yeah.
And anybody else's birthdays, really, because, yeah, so I do remember that. Yeah.
Excellent. That's really.
And then I think, yeah, sure. I think I walked with you for just over a year, and then I think the following January, so sort of 14 months later, you invited me to be a walk leader with a couple of other people at the time, as we were growing and expanding. So, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously when you started 4 years ago, we were known at that time as Nordic Walking Preston, mm-hmm. and it's only in the last 12 months that we've rebranded to Walx Preston. So you've got to see both sides of the development of all of that.
Yeah, I've got my red T-shirt, I've got my purple T-shirt, I've got my black T-shirt.
There you go, yeah. And your bobble hat. Come on, tell us about the hat.
From Kielder, which we'll get onto a little bit later. First Nordic walkers at Kielder. So.
Yeah, so I think what I've tried to do over the years is anyone who's expressed a level of interest or shown leadership skills or an interest in giving something back or supporting members of the group, I've suggested, planted the seed in the mind of that person. Would they want to be a walk leader? And I don't know at what point I planted it in your mind, but you readily took up that. And I think that may be partly because of your nature. You're very kind and open and intuitive, and again, the mental health nurse background. So just tell us a little bit about your background as a mental health nurse.
When I was younger, I did a psychology degree, and then after that, I sort of didn't really go into anything, and I ended up having children, working in a bank and doing a few things like that. And then when my children were younger, somebody said to me, "Oh, you've got a degree in psychology." And I think I'd done some care work at the time. Why don't you do mental health nursing? So I kind of fell into mental health nursing, did it part-time over about five years or so to qualify. And then on my very, very last placement, I went into an older adult ward and I felt like I was at home. And I realised sort of throughout my 5 years of training that I probably should have gone into learning disabilities. It was probably much more my forte. So when I walked into an older adult dementia ward, I just felt like I belonged somewhere. And so I worked as a staff nurse for 2 or 3 years on an older adult ward. And then sadly I got concussion. Got hit by somebody, bless him.
Oh, good.
And I just couldn't stay on the wards that much longer. So then I ended up, for a variety of reasons, going into discharge work, then going into commissioning, but always staying with older adults. And through the group, I went through a really, really difficult period about 2.5 years ago with tremendous amount of work stress. And the group really sort of helped me through that. Made a big decision to just quit my job. Didn't have another job to go to, and walked a lot with you guys and everything. And then somebody came along from another organisation, the NHS, and they said, "I believe you're out of job at the moment, and would you be interested in doing some care home quality work for us?" So for the last 2.5 years, I've worked for one of the local CCGs on care home quality, and I made a big decision to not go back to full time, reduce my income. And it was the best decision that I've made. So because I'd gone part-time, I then made a choice to do a walk every single week. It got me out. So I lead a walk. It used to be every Friday, and now it's every Wednesday. And it gets me up and it gets me out, and it keeps me sane in the world of COVID at the moment, which you can imagine is really busy with the care homes. So yeah, so I've always had an affiliation with the older age group, and we've got a real range of ages, from mid-30s through to 80s, haven't we now, but I'm a people person. I like people.
Yeah. You are an angel, and you radiate that energy. And I think what's really important for, people to know, not just members of our group, but just generally, it is possible to have a busy work life, but also combine that walking in as part of that. And you've testament to that in terms of you having decided to make a slight career change or a chosen decision, a tough decision to have less hours and therefore less income coming in. A lot of people struggle with that.
And I can significantly remember it. I was going through a really, really rough time at work, really rough. Everybody around me knew that I was struggling. But the Saturday morning walks were almost like a little bit of a lifesaver to me. I could sort of get through the week because I knew that I was doing that walk on a Saturday. And then I remember feeling so exhausted that I couldn't do this walk on a Saturday that I had to cancel. And I thought, but that's okay, because we had an adventure walk the day after. And I thought, that's okay, because at least I've got a walk in the weekend. I'll spend the day relaxing and I'll do a walk tomorrow. And then I woke up on the Sunday morning and I still felt exhausted, and I cancelled the adventure walk. And the cancellation of those 2 walks made me realise that my work-life balance was wrong. And that afternoon, I wrote a resignation letter, and that was it. And it was the fact that I couldn't walk, the fact that my work had taken over everything, that kind of was a wake-up call to me, really. Yeah.
Wow, I'm tingling that.
I remember that with all colour. Yeah.
That's really powerful. Yeah, and not everyone or many people struggle for many years with that pushing and grinding and doing too much and giving too much to too many people and not themselves. And it's hats off to you for your recognition of
I can't take my hat off, my hair needs cutting.
Yeah, well, we'll not. I didn't mean it. I just meant it like figuratively. But you made that decision, and and then you've not just gone down to 4 days of work, but your fifth day in the week, the day off that you have, could be a day off to do nothing or anything you wanted. But you've chosen to commit your time to a walk every week.
Yeah,
Fridays and Wednesdays.
I had a week off a couple of weeks ago, and as you know, for a variety of reasons, obviously you were isolating, but even if you weren't, I kind of said, right, I've got a week off. I'm going to walk every morning. I'm going to do a few jobs in the afternoon, then I'm going to relax. So every single morning, it got me up. Whether it was raining or not raining, it was the fact that it got me up, whether it was a one-to-one or a group walk or whatever. And my manager said to me yesterday, you did really well to walk every day, didn't you? And I said, well, it's just what I like doing. It gets me up, it gets me out, and yeah.
So I think that leads me on to I obviously want to talk about your hat, and I also want to talk about the candle and the manger behind you, but we'll get to those momentarily.
Spur of the minute decision.
What do you think it is about the group and what we've managed to co-create over the years that supports you or other people you think in the group that when they get involved, they quite quickly feel safe and comfortable? And
do you know, I don't even know how you could describe that. You couldn't put the ingredients into that cake and come up with what we've got by knowing what it is. There's a certain magic quality to that, and some of that is obviously the people that are on it and the leadership, because I know you do a huge amount behind the scenes. But there's something about all of us that is, we've all got a love of the outdoors, and we've all got a love of people, and I think those two qualities kind of just expand on from that. I was listening to Di's interview this morning, and she was saying there's always something you've got of interest with somebody else, and it's true. But fundamentally, a lot of us work in public services or did work in public services, and even those that don't, they fit in. Everybody just fits in. And everybody's just so lovely. And, somebody will have an idea, shall we do this? And then it just sparks. And then I was only talking this morning with Chris and Tony on the walk. A few years ago, I went to Kielder with my sister. She was running the half marathon. And I messaged the Kielder marathon people and said, could Nordic walkers take part in the 10K? Because I was up there. And they said, yeah, I don't see why not. So I walked it. I was the first person to walk it. And I said, I'm going to Kielder to do this. And then Andy and Sue said, oh, we quite fancy a day in Kielder. And then Christine said, well, I'll come with you. I've got a nephew that lives up there. And there were 4 of us did it. And we came across the finish line. And just talking to Tony this morning, it was like somebody saying, fancy going to see this film. Oh, I'll come with you. Let's have a drink before it. And it's just, you start off with that love of the fresh air and the love of the exercise and the love of people, and then it's grown, and it's grown so much in terms of social connection and the friends that we've made. And we laugh, don't we? We say that they're the family that we chose, and it is. It's not a cult, but it is family. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about, particularly in the wellbeing field, but just sort of generally sort of finding your tribe. And I've never really sort of wanted to say it like that. And I don't think that resonates with me, but what does resonate with me is that as people come in, we have this just willingness to be open, and people just feel immediately comfortable. And again, it's got to be their nature that they want to meet other people, but there's a very significant power, and there's research behind it about the social connection, social connectedness, and that supporting well-being in the wider sense.
Even from the start, it never felt cliquey at all. So you'd have a group of people, and again, Di alluded to this, we've done some spin-off things, we've done breakthrough groups, weight loss groups, whatever. And you do have connections of people that do naturally veer to each other. But nobody ever feels like they can't get into that. We break apart. We see, I walked with 5 or 6 different people this morning and chatted to them, and it was lovely. Nobody feels like, oh, I can't talk to them because they're, we go, hi, welcome, who are you? What have you done? But equally, I met a lady at the weekend, and she was saying, she couldn't necessarily hear groups of people. So it's fine. Well, we'll just walk with one person with you then. We don't mob you. We kind of, what do you want from it? Yes, I just want to walk, be on my own, but feel safe. Great. We'll leave you on your own. You know what? I've had a really bad week and I just want to offload to a group of you. Fine, we'll do that. And it's that real magical mix of being able to just be who you are, but feel supported and safe. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, I think you put it very, very eloquently there. So thank you for sharing that. So tell me about the what's behind you.
Oh, I just thought it was funny. I just thought it was funny. I just thought my daughter needed the front room for something, the other room for something, and I couldn't have the desk. And I said, I'll do it in the front room. Oh, look, I'm the angel Angela. Because I always say, hello, my name's Angela. You'll remember me because I've got a halo. And lots of people don't laugh these days. They've heard it that many times. But, the new ones are polite and they do laugh. So... yeah,
but we've decided over the years to sort of say that we are a group that offers fitness, friendship, and fun. And rather than thinking, I don't want to go and exercise because I don't like the gym or some aspect of it. We're not trying to teach you specific language about fitness, and it's about being relaxed and
lots of cycling. My partner obviously cycles, as you all know. It's not just, oh my gosh, you can only do walking now. I joined it when I had a dog. I still did my dog walks outside of these walks. So it's not like you join it and then suddenly it consumes your life. You can pick up a couple of hours a week, or you can pick up 40 hours a week with us. It's kind of what fits in with you and what works with you. I know lots of the walkers that they do go cycling or walking separately. We've obviously done a lot of buddy walk over there.
There's a lot going on, things.
Yeah, we've done loads of stuff like that, and I loved those one-to-ones that we did. It was so nice to actually just speak to somebody for 20-30 minutes. How are you? Are you all right? Yeah, it's lovely. It's just...
yeah, even that for me, that brought me back to the start of when we started Nordic Walking Preston. In that first year or so, I was always getting very close in communication with people because we had such small groups, and there was a real nice element in that. And for you to kind of experience that, unfortunately, through the sort of situation of lockdown, because sometimes when we now are lucky enough to have groups that are up to size 30, and if you're leading and managing a group of people, and it's like today on the walk, a situation might arise, you've got to kind of separate, split, someone's got to take responsibility or go somewhere else.
That's been brilliant. Just having I love leading the walks. I love doing the recce's. I love, all of that. It's so nice to have another leader with me at the back. It's so nice to have a leader in the middle, and the hosts are just brilliant ideas. I could say to people at the weekend, so-and-so's new with us. Would you just check that they're okay? It's great having the walkie-talkies and being able to split off, faster groups and smaller groups. It's just wonderful.
Well, we've got a few comments. We'll just say Andrew.
I was online, really. I just feel like I'm having a conversation with you, Matt. I forgot that everybody was listening.
Well, we still have 4 people live, and quite often a lot of people can't make it for the live session and watch it back. And, I don't know that they're watching it back, but then occasionally a comment will come across in a walk several weeks down the line.
Yeah.
That is obviously they're having had watched that, and it's really interesting to have these videos and live sessions with you and Di and other members of the group. Andrew says loving the hat. Susan Watson says hi Matt and Angela. Andrew says hold on, it's not a cult. No. And we got a that says hello, but we don't know who that is. But thank you.
We did Kielder the first year, like I say, the 4 of us, and we loved it so much that I think the following year we took an adventure walk up there with a coach, and then a couple of weeks after that, more people did the Kielder 10K, and I seem to think that Sue and Andy met. Well, Steve Cram runs it, but they met Daley Thompson, I think. The following year, hello. So the following year, about 10 of us decided we'd have 3 or 4 days up there, and we hired a couple of houses and had an amazing time. We should have done that again this year, but obviously COVID stopped it. But yeah, the hat, it came from that. So I think of this as my Kielder hat. Yeah.
Marvelous. Well, we've been talking for 20 minutes, but I think we could probably sit here all day talking about all different things that are positively related to you and the group and health and well-being. But the most important thing is that we're just having a conversation to share a little bit of a background into you and why you're involved and how much you enjoy it. And we're very grateful. I'm grateful, and the group. You are the angel, and people recognise that.
And does Ellie think so too? Yeah.
No, she's colouring in my diary now, so there's no interest. If she's got chocolate or the diary, then she's all right.
Absolutely. Yeah, she liked the chocolate this morning. Yeah.
So, Angela, thank you for coming out this morning. Did you notice that as soon as we got back in the car, it absolutely heaved it down?
It did. It absolutely threw it down, yeah. And it was lovely to have a morning off this morning from the route and just chat to people. So thank you for my day off, Matt. Yes.
My pleasure. I always enjoy coming, and sadly, I have to get more involved with some of the admin side of things, some of the things.
I know, you do a tremendous amount of things. Yeah, I mean, Di put it in one of the posts that weekend, but literally me, you and Di last week, it was ping central, wasn't it, between, arranging things for the Christmas walk. And I don't think people realise quite how much you do behind the scenes and how much the walk leaders do. And obviously now the hosts coming in are a part of that. So, yeah. We're
very interested in showcasing to more people what is Walx Preston, and it's not a walking group. There's a very difference between just where some people meet and go on a walk. There's a whole breadth and depth of difference, and it works very well for the team, for the members, and we're in this process now of getting more and more people to know about that, and therefore we're interested in developing the team and the membership and sharing that far and wide, because we started off with one and we got a few people involved, and then we had the small team and we're Nordic Walking Preston, then Walx Preston, and now at the Christmas walk that I couldn't even attend, there were still nearly 50 people in attendance and all dressed up and having a fabulous time. And that's what we want to perpetuate in terms of people being able to go out and enjoy themselves and maintain a level of good mental health, mood, well-being, and physical fitness and health as well.
Yeah, and if they're not in physical good health and fitness and they're not in a mentally good place, it's maybe just a little bit of respite for a little while, just to sort of start them on that journey, because everything starts with something small.
Definitely. So, my angel of today, thank you very much. We will end the live, and thank you for our viewers, and take care for now.
Bye-bye.